From the Playboy Club in London, it's the unique league tournament with 12 big names battling it out to be crowned the Premier League Mixed Game Champion. Welcome to this new extension of the Party Poker Premier League, the Mixed Game Championship. We're into the second league match of the season as we seek to find a more complete poker player. Our two groups are battling in 3 different card games to accumulate points to get them on to the final table. While James Dempsey and Matt Giannetti are leading the table in Group A after their first league match, Group B have taken to the felt for their first game of No Limit Texas Hold'em. Let's see what happened last time.
Last time, Group B took to the table for their opening game, and it was a tough and tight start.
How do I always get these marginal spots?
I think Luke would call me a pigeon if I didn't re-raise this.
You have nothing there.
Nowadays, you don't want a lot of young guys at the table, but in the old days, you used to.
I'm not that stupid.
Still 6 remain. Who will crack first, and who will end up out in front after this No Limit Hold'em test?
Always a sweat. Never easy.
They're trying to pick on the old guys.
I deserve a bit of luck on TV.
You want to do this? I do now.
What would Luke do?
I can't believe he fold kings there.
You're just a pigeon.
There's 3 players in this match using their double-up cards. It's Sorel, Mizzi, Andrew Feldman, and Ben Carpenter, who will all score twice as many points for their placings. Let's take a look at how things stand. Over 2 levels have been played. We've yet to lose a player, so everything is possible. But the probable is that Frankenberger in a storming spot, well and away the chip leader. And for Andrew Feldman, who's got his double-up card in play, it's thumping hearts. I'm joined by Luke Schwartz, been playing in Group A. Have a look at the way the points are awarded in all the disciplines. 8 points for first, 6 points for second, 3 for third, 2 for fourth, 1 for fifth, and the bagel 0 points for sixth. Feldman has to get it. He's got 15 big blinds. You are raising to get it in no matter what, right?
That's the tightest player at the table, 3 bets you, and that's about to be the case.
Such a great site.
28.
Honestly, I think Feldman, you know, he is good at one thing. He is good at a few things, and one of them is making big folds. And although it looks very standard to jam here, this is against Mike Sexton, who has not done anything but fold.
You've got ace jack or ace 10. I'm gonna feel sick.
Yeah, of course he doesn't have ace jack or ace 10.
Can you show me, Mike?
So it's 6 plus.
No.
Yeah, fold.
Wow, he really...
I'm gonna find out in like 3 minutes, you know that.
All right.
It was a big fold as it turned out, but he really took that one to the limit.
I don't know why Feldman's saying if he had ace 10 or ace jack. He knows that he should never have had ace 10 or ace jack.
He may have had 10s. 10s or jacks. Now, you had a big hand. It's just how big.
And you wonder, the debilitating nature of Feldman going out first with using the double-up card makes me, I mean, it's critical. And this is...
I think he has to just jam this button.
You feel like it.
6.
Wow.
Good fold.
What, was it a good fold or was it a
Wasn't it? You fold. It's not too bad a fold. I fold in that spot sometimes, but
I mean, it turns out, situationally, to have worked wonders.
yeah.
But he had 14 bigs. It was probably maybe it's marginal. Wow,
No,
Frankenberger's going to...
It
Frankenberger...
wasn't marginal, actually. I think it was a good fold.
Should Frankenberger be 3-betting here? Or...
No, I would just flat. You know, he's got position, got a nice suited hand.
27.
So it's 2 raise to
Just doesn't he put
28.
Sorel under a whole lot of pressure right now, just with his double stack?
He does.
So 2 raise to
And
28,000.
You know, Sorel's got to fold like... He's got to fold like king, queen, king, jack, all those hands,
no,
doesn't he?
he wouldn't fold those hands.
You always have to double.
Double the bet.
I think Sorel should just 4-bet here. I mean, we can see the cards, but I like a 4-bet, I think. 4-bet, yeah, 4-bet, and yeah, he's gonna flat. He's out of position. Yeah, flat or 4-bet. I mean, obviously he's going nowhere with the 9s, but
He's playing a very dangerous game here, Sorel, just overall, right? With his stack, this pot getting big,
wow.
Frankenberger having 3 7s. This is not good.
This is a nightmare. I mean, that's maybe why I would have 4-bet, just to try and take it down and protect my hand.
But is Sorel about to get hammered out of this tournament? I mean, is he about to do his stack here?
I just don't know why he's checked there. Why would he check? He would always bet that flop with anything. Why would he check when he's finally... He's just given Sorel a huge let off there.
Well, Sorel now cannot go broke. Now Sorel cannot go broke.
Well, I don't think he was going to go broke as such anyway, especially on that king on the turn, but I just don't know why he checked. That's just such an odd play. I mean, you 3-bet and the flop comes 7-7-6. You'd bet it with 100% of your range. You check it, just looks suspicious. Now it does look like ace-king, but I would have bet ace-king on the flop anyway. I think Sorel thinks that too. Wow, wow, what the hell is he doing?
I don't know.
Sorel's going to value bet, yeah. Now, feeling that he's got the best hand, feeling that Frankenberger's got ace-queen, and Frankenberger's going to raise, and then Sorel's going to be like, this is very weird.
Is there any chance that Frankenberger might end up maximizing this because of...
No, of course not. He would have maximized it by betting 2 streaks.
Sorel is really...
So it's 1.
I mean, it's easy. You have to bet with 9s now. You have to feel like your hand's good. Like, no one checks an overfair on the flop.
How long is Sorel going to think about this when Frankenberger raises him?
Honestly, the way Frankenberger plays, he might just flat call. It's just so bad. He doesn't even know where he is in this hand. Obviously, he's got top trips. But honestly, there's some doubt in his mind. He's scared. He's asking Sorel these questions. How much you got if I raise 66 and he jams? Do I have to call? He's thinking all these things. He would never have thought these things if he had just bet the hand normally. But yeah, he's going to obviously make it 68k.
Yeah, call.
Wow, this is so oh my god, I'm leaving this room. That is unreal. Wow, that was one of the worst played hands. I mean, I like the guy's nice and everything, but that was one of the worst played hands I've oh god, that makes me sick. I just can't. I like watching Timoshenko, and I like watching Sorel. They play the game both very well, but I do not like watching that type of stuff. Oh, that makes me feel sick. Honestly, that was revolting.
No. Believe me.
What do you think Frankenberger would say if you asked him what do you think he was intending to set a trap and then on the end he started getting...
He's not a poker player.
He's got 3 WPT final tables, a WPT title, and a WSOP bracelet in 18 months, Luke.
We're back after the break with more from the Premier League Mixed Game Championship.
Welcome back to the Playboy Club in London Town for the first ever Party Poker Premier League Mixed Game Championships. We've just seen a crazy hand. Mizzi with pocket 9s against WPT Player of the Year, Andy Frankenberger with the ace-7. Frankenberger hits trips on the flop, but checks it down to the river and just calls Mizzi's small bet at the end.
Yeah, call.
Wow, this is so oh my god, I'm leaving this room. I like the guy's nice and everything, but that was one of the worst played hands I've ever. Oh god, that makes me sick.
Wow. Karras got over with Andy Frankenberger.
As the chip leader at the table now, and quite an active early few levels, what do you think your image is out like?
I think people are having a pretty difficult time with my image, which is where I want to be. I played some hands where afterwards people are saying, oh, he must have had this or that, and they were wrong, and I like to be unpredictable. I'm kicking myself a little bit about how I played the last hand. I could have got a lot more value out of it, but if under getting less value than you should is the worst thing that happens at a table, I guess I can't complain too much.
What do you wish you would have done differently in that hand?
Well, I should have continued on the flop. I made a pretty aggressive raise pre-flop. Sorel had 9s in the small blind, and I was in the big blinds with ace-7, so I made a pretty aggressive raise, and he just flatted there. So when the flop came 6-7-7, and I've got ace-7, I'm checking. I decided to check the flop because I figure he could have any 2 cards, and I want him to catch something, but it's such a dry board that if I bet, I just didn't want him to fold. And same on the turn. I just thought he was capable of just throwing out a really big bet, but he didn't do it. So he played it really well, but in his mind, he's saying, man, if only I had raised, if I had shoved with my 9s pre, then of course it's tough for me to stick around with a7 there. So it's like, it didn't go as well as it could have, but it didn't go as bad either.
Thanks so much.
Oh, you got it.
Frankenberger has a massive chip lead, nearly 600K. Take Mizzi's 200,000 though, add it to Frankenberger's, and think what could have been. Still 6 players, still all to play for. Blinds now up to 5 and 10,000. And really, no matter who you are right now, you're going to be feeling the pressure. Feldman, though, almost certainly going to be the first to crack as far as he's going to have to get those chips in.
C6 pass, C1 pass.
See, this is a spot here where Frankenberger should put the pressure on, okay? Because Carpenter's second biggest chip stack in the room. He knows he doesn't want to bust before everyone else, especially with the double up card. He's got ace-10. He can make Carpenter fold so many hands here. Carpenter, he puts ace queen, he puts 9s, he puts 10s in a tough spot here, as sad as it is. If he re-raises, he puts pocket 10s in a tough spot. Because Carpenter sees all these other short stackers. Yeah, he's just called. I don't like that.
C2 call.
Because you could just put the pressure on, you know?
Right. It's
a perfect spot for him to put the pressure on.
C3 call.
It's a very negative play just calling there, isn't it?
Yeah, I really think it is. Especially, just especially because Carpenter has 400,000, the rest are all much lower than him. And now, look, Carpenter's looks pretty much a monster. I'd like to see him bet this when they check it to him.
Really? I mean, isn't checking behind? I mean, just trying to keep the. Isn't he a little bit scared about getting this pot too big against Frankenberger?
No, because he's got so much equity in it anyway. So
bet 20,000.
So he'll probably just call Carpenter now. Carpenter would just call now.
Because raising is so dangerous. I mean, how many 8s are there in Frankenberger's range?
No,
right
it's
now?
not about. He's not about having. He's not scared of him having an 8. He's scared of sets. 8s, 6s, 5s, big draws, loads of things. Just a standard player is just a call. The guy's only bet 20k actually. On such a small bet, he could actually have raised it. But I'd opt for the call.
He doesn't
here.
want to bet call against like 2
I would have
high
raised
hearts.
if he had ace-8. I would have raised, but pocket 7s I would just flat. And now he's hit the gin, and I think Frankenberger would shut off. I mean, well, Frankenberger, he's basically trying to rep the hand that Carpenter has if he bets his turn. And I think it looks like he's going for it.
And because of the
raised to 35,000.
because of the chance that Frankenberger could have a flush draw here, should Carpenter be raising now, or should he just
raise? I would just call.
Just call, and then if it comes a heart on the river, you just call again, and if it comes anything else, you raise.
Well, to be fair, actually, I might raise here just since if Frankenberger did have a set, you want to make him pay. and the flush draw as well, but I would just call and just trap him, basically.
Carpenter's gambling a little bit here, isn't he?
It's not really that much of a gamble. I think it's a standard play just to fool. You know, he's not scared of a straight 7-9 or anything. And that's a great card for Carpenter. He's still got pretty much the nuts. Frankenberger probably feels he definitely has to bluff it if he wants to win it. Carpenter will probably just call him. I mean, yeah, I think Carpenter should raise if Frankenberger bet.
Spread the pot for me, please.
Yep.
I mean, it's all going to be pretty academic, unless Frankenberger does something really weird. But he does seem to have taken a really strange kind of line at this.
Yeah, I think it would just play just becomes so much easier for you when you re-raise pre-flop. You know, you just know where you are, you know where your opponent is. The guys most of the time just folding pre-flop. You got the aggression in the hand instead of all like the donk leading. Obviously, when I say donk lead, I just mean leading out of position into the razor.
What else could you mean?
That he was a donk. But I definitely don't mean that.
With that pot, Ben Carpenter pulling very close to the lead. Frankenberger's got to tell himself that he's still in great shape here, doesn't he? That was kind of and do you think? I mean, it just seemed we were talking about Dempsey in Group A and now Frankenberger now that the strategy in these things is not completely obvious because it's a lot of these poker players, they sort of haven't faced these tactical decisions before. They seem to be struggling with the chip lead.
25,000.
I think Timoshenko will just fold here because it's just too awkward a stack size. Really, he can't really How much is Tim? Sexton's got 185, so
I mean,
theoretically, 40k and fold. I don't see Timoshenko doing it. I just think he's just going to fold. It would be out of character for him to do anything else. Yeah.
But I mean, theoretically, Sexton should be able to raise fold, 20 big blinds, right?
Yeah, I just don't think he thinks he's doing it. Well, maybe I'm wrong. I don't like this really. Because look, he's well. I don't even like this. I don't like that sizing. That's way too big. Look, he hasn't even really taken Sexton's. He no way needed. This is a mistake because he no way needed to make it 65 here.
And Mike Sexton up to the task, insta all in. Yevgeniy.
Yev just didn't think about this to do well enough at all. He could have saved himself. I wouldn't have 3-bet in the first place, but having doing that, I would have made it
187.
42k. I would have pretty much clicked it. I would never have made it 67. He's just wasting an extra 27k because he wasn't going to call it anyway.
Well, not only he wasted it, but look at the price he's getting here.
And now he's getting exactly.
He's getting a price for Ace-3 against Ace-Queen.
Yeah, but he's not going to call it. But he just feels so sick about it now. This was a mistake. I don't think he was going to do this.
Well, but the math says call here, right? Or does the math not say call when you add in?
Yeah, I mean the math, the direct math says call, but there's many other factors, tournament life, tournament points, the bagel, just so many things that this is why he's not going to call.
Look at that picture. Timoshenko totally owned.
Yeah, that was a bit of a mistake, I have to say.
Picking on the young ones, Mike?
They're trying to pick on the old guy, you see.
He was...
Look at Mike. Pick on the old guy, he said. Owned pretty hard there by Mike Sexton. Timoshenko, a rough start to this mixed game championship.
I was first introduced to poker in 2003 after I saw Chris Moneymaker win the World Series of Poker. I really got into it. I was very keen to learn the strategies, and I moved on to start playing online. I got lucky. I won a few dollars in a free roll. Since then, that's the money I've been using to play. I still want to continue to be considered one of the best and continue to put up results and continue to stay ahead of the curve, so to speak, and continue to improve my game. Right now, that's one of my biggest concerns, I would say. It's definitely flattering when the other pros pick me as one of the favorites to win the heat or win the final. It doesn't give me any pressure. If anything, it just gives me more confidence to go out there and play my A game and hopefully put up some nice results.
We're halfway through the 5 and 10,000 level in this Group B opening match, and yet to lose a player. A testament, perhaps, to what the players know is the downside of having a bad start in this league format. So tough to come back from. Possible, but so tough.
Raise to 25,000. 3 pass.
Oh, Timoshenko's in trouble. He's got 20 big blinds and a pocket pair in the big blind to a button raise. He's all in, right? It's standard.
Okay.
Is it?
Probably, yeah. Yeah, he's probably all in. I want him to go, and I want Frankenberger to win because we got last longer, and there he is. He's all in.
I call.
Seat 2
And
call.
it's a cooler under the circumstances. Timoshenko gasping right now. And for Feldman, he's going to be feeling fantastic about this.
Yeah, he's going to be feeling pretty good.
If the Kings hold, Feldman's just made 2 points. The world's made a couple points.
About the same equity as he had pre-flop now. So a couple backdoor straight draws. Yeah.
Always a sweat.
3 would hit the belly. And for Timoshenko, the bagel, the only good news for him is that he's going to have his wild card, his double up card in tow. But he would not have expected that.
You see, like, if he hadn't have 3-bet before,
he wouldn't have gone
the
broke.
ace 3.
Yeah.
He would have probably been able to 3-bet fold that one, or just fold that one, or maybe he still would have gone broke with that. Maybe I'm just saying that.
Haunted house for the Ukrainian, and Timoshenko taking 0. For Frankenberger, though,
He's steamrolling him.
he really has. He's won them from all sides.
Yevgeniy, talk to us about the last couple of levels or so. How did you feel about your game?
I think I played pretty well up until the last level. The last level, things kind of fell apart for me. I played one hand against Mike Sexton where I made a few miscalculations. I thought he had a lot more chips, and I thought I had a bit more chips as well. So I re-raised him when he raised on the button, and it turns out he only had about 190,000, and he jammed over me. And I was actually in a really close spot with ace rag, and I still don't know if I should have called, but I decided to fold, and what I didn't realize is that put me down to about 230,000. And then an orbit went by, and I got put in a tough spot where Andy Frankenberger raised on the button, who was the big stack. He was playing pretty aggressive, and I was in the big blind with 2 6s. And maybe had I not 3-bet there and lost a lot of chips, I could have played the hand differently. But with my stack, I just decided to go all in, and he had kings, and that was it.
Well, Feldman has now wormed his way up into guaranteed 2 points with the double up. If he can wriggle his way one more spot, he'll have to consider this mission a success.
More in.
Seat 6 all in.
How much is it?
Seat 1 pass.
Well, Ben's made a raise from the cutoff, and Feldman's pushed here on the button. He's going to get looked up, and they're going to flip here.
You can't fault Feldman here. You know, Ben is stronger than you would expect in this spot. But Feldman, he's got 2 very high Broadway cards, and it's still a sweat.
Wow. Never easy.
Flip is still a flip.
2 black cards, please. Wow.
More sweat.
I'm hitting this.
Yeah, there's. Well, he's going to try and reverse Bach it by standing.
You're not. I deserve a bit of luck on TV.
Carpenter needs any diamond, the jack, the ace, and
What was it?
Feldman might have actually balked himself by saying that he deserves luck. It's really dangerous to think you deserve something in poker, isn't it?
Absolutely.
He probably feels like right now that he's could have been knocked out of this tournament about 4 times. And I'd say aside from maybe Frankenberger, Feldman is right now feeling the most positive at the table.
The poker gods are nice to me for a change.
We have one player gone in this no-limit Texas Hold'em heat of the Party Poker Premier League Mixed Game Championship. Back for more after the break. Welcome back to the Party Poker Premier League Mixed Game Championship. There are 5 left around the table now as we head back into the Cottontail Lounge for all the action.
I'll tell you, this has been like peeling toenails. Nobody wants to get knocked out, and we have obviously lost Timoshenko in a hail of fire and brimstone, but since then,
6 plus.
it's been gritty stuff.
Clubs. 6-1.
Mizzi with the shove.
41.
Can Frankenberger call this? I don't. Is it close? 10 big blinds? It's probably close. Oh, hello, Mike. Well, there's not much he can do. Sexton finding the right time.
This is a tough spot for Carpenter.
Oh, wow.
Honestly, this is a tough spot. If you had 10s, I think the automatic call. 9s is closer.
And one of the reasons it's an interesting spot is because Mizzi and Sexton can be duplicating cards here quite often, can't they?
Both had high cards, exactly. If like Mizzi likely his range is like ace low, and Sexton could have a high ace easily. So then Carpenter's in great shape with that. He only has to dodge Sexton's kicker. So yeah, I think if I was Carpenter, I'd probably call it.
Would Sexton have moved with 8s and 7s?
Yeah, I mean exactly. Sexton has to move with those hands as well.
Does he? Does he definitely have to move with those
hands? Of course.
I'm just going to do a Feldo and just count my chips.
It's close with the 9s. With 10s, it's a automatic call. I think it's also a call with the 9s. I mean, obviously we can see he's got kings.
It'd be nice in poker if you had like a lifeline where you can just phone a friend and get a second opinion.
Yeah, I phone Luke.
You phone Luke? Yeah, he's probably Luke or Jesse is probably the best person to ask me that.
I know it.
I think this is one of those things, Luke, where you see it, you think call, and then the more you think about it, you think, you know what? I don't need to call.
Whatever they say, it has to be binding.
I mean,
Cool.
Oh. Wow, he's called?
Oh wow.
Wow.
Oh, he doesn't like it. He doesn't like it. Sorel loves his spot. I mean, Sorel's got a chance. If Sorel triples up here.
All right, slow down, Jesse. Slow down. We haven't even seen a flop yet.
Now Sexton's in a good spot here. There's a side pot. Sorel's all in.
So close, though.
Sexton's all in as well, but he's got a side pot with Carpenter, whereby if Mizzi wins and Sexton comes in second, he's still going to be in. There's the king.
And the ace, but ace doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter now. Mike Sexton is going to be a man for all seasons. Look at that smile. Beat this.
Oh, yeah, that's what I thought, yeah.
It's only fair.
Even a jack.
Yeah.
No, don't give him a jack.
All right.
233.
Yeah, I thought it was cool, yeah.
And it'll be interesting to hear what the other players at the table think about Ben Carpenter's call. But for Sorel Mizzi, he is going to be on the back foot quite early.
If you just beat me, you're going to make money.
He'll take 2 points with his double up card. And, you know, if there's one good thing that Mizzi will be thinking, right now Carpenter and Feldman are 3rd and 4th in chips. This whole thing is going to be slowed down. All Group B could be suffering. But the Americans right now riding high, USA, Frankenberger and Sexton, 1 and 2. And Feldman's, I mean, can you imagine if Feldman ends up coming out of this thing with a 3rd place and 6 points?
Group B seemed to play a cagier game, which meant that it took a lot longer to knock a player out. So you guys were all fairly short stacked. Did that play into your exit?
Yeah, well, I mean, I was down to less than 10 big blinds, and I mean, I picked up a few spots where I could shove and try to accumulate chips, and that's exactly what I did, and got away with it a few times, and then I picked up ace-jack with less than 10 big blinds. There's really nothing much more I can do. And as it turned out, I was up against kings and pocket nines, so I was in a bad spot. But yeah, it's just one of those things, you know, like it just has to go in and they have to call, and everything was just set up, you know, so it could have happened. I could have had the kings, he could have had the ace-jack. So yeah, I don't see what else I could have done.
Feldman's got the shades in play. Something's working. He looked like the early out. For Andrew Frankenberger, though. How mysterious has he been? And yet, the runaway freight train, Luke, that is Frankenberger, feels unstoppable.
I want to check. I don't think my body can let me check anything.
I think Sexton misplayed this. I think he should have just jammed here, pretty.
Because it's not really a strong enough hand to limp raise, is it?
Yeah, absolutely not.
Safe 3 check.
The Carpenter could just represent a jack here quite easily.
Safe 5 check.
I think he should have bet.
Check again, Mike. Check.
No, he doesn't do that. He's way too old school to ever try that.
Safe 5 call.
Oh, what's up?
Carpenter's trying to represent a 3 now. Well, it's a bad card for Carpenter because now he's actually hit his showdown, doesn't need to bluff. But we see Sexton's got trips and is definitely going to bet. Interesting to see if Carpenter can fold. That's a big bet. That was a big bet and it was too quick.
70,000.
That was I do not like that
How much
bet.
is in the pot?
Now, what?
Bet full pot there. I mean, there's no bluffs on this board either.
I floated and then caught 2 on the river.
Yeah, good fold. I think Sexton gave it away with the insta 70k bet.
Yeah,
it was not a good bet.
I thought there was no live tells.
No, live body language tells.
So many jacks.
It's bad to immediately bet 70,000 on the river when there was no flush draw up, no nothing. There was just no bluffs there.
One thing's for sure, American Mike Sexton really starting to turn the pressure up.
Well, I think it's fantastic to show that there's other forms of poker than just no limit hold'em. Some of the viewers and people that watch television and watch poker on TV, that's all they see. But in truth, no limit hold'em is just one aspect of poker. There's so many more games. You're going to see a couple of them in this tournament. Pot limit Omaha, pot limit hold'em. I'm pretty much a good all-around player, so the more games, the better for me.
Mike Sexton cut his teeth in Las Vegas in the days when every game was tough.
I was a professional poker player for 25 years, you know, prior to starting the Tournament of Champions and getting involved with Party Poker and the gig with the World Poker Tour being the host. We're now in our 10th season on the World Poker Tour. So prior to that, you know, I was a grinder and a poker player, literally didn't have a paycheck for over 20 years. So, you know, from the poker players, they understand that I've been there and that I've done it, and I think I get respect as a commentator just because they know of where I came from and what I've done in poker. For me, obviously, the culmination, the highlight of my life, of any poker player's life, would be to be inducted into the Poker Hall of Fame, because essentially that's a career achievement award, and you can't do much better than that. So anything that happens to me after this, like winning this tournament, would just be icing on the cake.
How important is it for Carpenter to try and finish above Feldman here, as far as like third versus fourth? It's not that big a deal versus the chance to get into second, is it?
Yeah, the second place is the really important thing.
Safe 3+.
And Sexton might be starting to think that actually it's time to clam up a little bit because he's folded an ace. Just kind of having an argument with myself. It seems, Luke, actually that for Carpenter and Feldman, now is the time for them to actually be quite aggressive and take a few chances. Get the chips
they can't
in,
really
that
do
sort of
much.
thing.
They can jam, but they can't really be doing much else.
That's
I mean,
what I
their
mean,
stack
jam.
sizes doesn't really enable them to do anything else.
But you can jam quite.
Yeah, they could jam pretty wide. Their full hand is hard for other people to get a hand, etc., etc. But they both, they both want to just kind of sneak into second or third.
But there's no sneaking into second.
Wow, look at this for Feldo.
Wow.
And his opponent's got a piece of it as well.
Set 6, bets 22,000.
Wow, this is just a complete stone cold cooler. I mean, you can't really blame Frankenberger for.
Set 2 call.
Don't well not to raise, I guess it wouldn't really be smart for him to raise that flop because Feldman's going to get it in quite often, and now he's just getting it in. I mean, actually, if Feldman bets here, Frankenberger's probably supposed to raise, isn't he?
What happened on this flop? Did Feldman bet it?
Feldman bet the flop and Frankenberger called, and now
Feldman's going to double up to almost 100%.
I mean, Frankenberger's supposed to try and get the money in on the turn, isn't he?
I mean, 74 in the middle. If Feldman shouldn't mess this up, don't bet too big. Bet 45.
6.
What's the bet?
49,000.
49, okay, that's alright.
Frankenberger's supposed to go all in, isn't he?
It's, well, he could just play it as a bluff catcher. He could just call and then call any river.
How much you have behind?
Like 150.
Why is that? Why is playing it as a bluff catcher better than just shoving and trying to...
Because A, he's got top pair, and B, he's got the open-ended straight draws. So all the scary cards, like a 4 or 9, 9's not that good for him, but 4 or 9 really just give him straights anyway. So
Yeah, but isn't Feldman going to check all his one pair hands on the river?
And call them off now, though.
Yeah, 7-9, 7-6.
No, he's not going to call off
8.
worse. Feldman's not going to bet call off worse than Jack 6 here. Yeah, I'll check. I'll just call. I wouldn't raise it with Jack 6.
All in.
Cool.
And Frankenberger actually has got to draw to a chop here. He's up against the second nuts, but a 9 would do it. A 9 would do it for the chop. For Feldman,
Big
hopes and
Feldman
a massive pot. 90. He's almost certain to be second in chips.
No 9, please, no 9.
Well, there's not that many 9s in the deck. And Andrew Feldman, talk about Lazarus, talk about Sisyphus, back from the dead. Yeah, Frankenberger. He really just got caught in the cooler, didn't he, Luke? I mean, it's pretty much all there was.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good turn for you.
Yeah. I was happy with that turn as well.
Look at Feldman. Down, hanging, around 100K forever, and now he's just on the move. But, like you say, Frankenberger could be kind of ruining that he got cooler on that flop, Luke. But on the other hand, if he had been more aggressive earlier on, he would have had like 900K or 850K, and it would be a different story, wouldn't
Yeah.
it?
Say 3 pass.
And Feldman, who understands that all too well, is not going to make that mistake. And I believe, has Carpenter shoved? Feldman's going to snap him. Please snap him, Andrew. Don't knit it.
I call.
Say 6 call.
It's my time to run good.
Come on.
Maybe I'll do a Feldman.
Come on.
Nah.
For Ben Carpenter,
Taught me this.
all in, he really needs to
Stand up,
hit.
Look at the dealer.
Fourth
give her a
place
smile.
will be worth
Roll off an ace.
but 4 points with the double up.
Yes.
And interesting.
2 red cards.
2 pair for Feldman. Clubs all over the place for Carpenter.
The ace of diamonds.
Any club. No club now. And for Ben Carpenter, the double up card's gone down. He's had a real roller coaster. Really tough times early, and then middle, it looked like he was going to be the man. 4 points.
Turn of events for you over there.
Better than average, but I think at the end of the day, he's going to be a bit disappointed.
They say you should never
For Feldman, though. What a turn-up.
Ben, having used your double up card already, makes it interesting for the PLO match coming up. Give us your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I'm going to have to pretty much get a first or a second, so yeah, pretty disappointed. Feldman heated me, so what can you do?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much, and good luck in the next one.
Cheers.
For Andrew Feldman, he can be looking at matching James Dempsey, 16 points, top of his group. Very, very interesting bubble coming up now as the blinds go to 10 and 20,000, Luke. I mean, Sexton and Frankenberger could really dig their heels in here. 3 remain in this No Limit Hold'em match. Join us after the break as the action continues.
Welcome back. 3 players remain in this first league match for Group B. Let's see who can take down maximum points.
I just kind of feel, when you talk about experience, I mean, Mike Sexton's the kind of guy who, you know, you go back about 15, 20 years, I think he set a record for the most consecutive number of cashes in the main event. He's a real tough guy to knock out this spot. I'd say he's a pretty big favorite here to finish second. And I feel like that this is not that Sexton would he just been better off just passing, Luke? I mean, is there a lot of reasons for him to get involved here?
It's a close spot, but you know, it's hard to give up the 8-7 suited for a min raise. But I think in this instant, I would have folded pre-flop. She's just got to swallow it.
I mean, anytime you're flopping second pair, you're not really happy, which is
no, you just want to flop a huge turn. Wow, this is an action turn. Look at this turn.
Yeah.
I mean, the proper moves with
I mean, this could so easily backfire. This could
go all in, but Feldman's never going to raise this turn.
Yeah, but what if it comes the ace of clubs on the river? Mike. Warning bells. Sexton's too good to go broke, isn't he? Or
no, he won't go. Feldman will just call this bet. I think that it's close. I think it's the correct play just to call the king now with the king 5 of clubs. But yeah, I think it's just going to call.
Why is it close?
Well, because you got top pair and a flush draw. You know, you're behind queen 10 only, really. Pocket sixes would have jammed pre.
Of course.
Wow, look at this.
But it was always going to happen.
Wow, this is all.
And Sexton is going
to. This is a test. If your man Sexton can bet fold this river, this is a test. This is a great test.
But Feldman's not going to put him to the all-in test, is he?
What else do you think he's going to? Of course he's going to put him to the all-in test. I think he's going to do flat call with second nuts. Feldman's going to re-raise all-in.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh! Sexton could end up losing a lot here.
There's a chance Feldman. Yeah, he's all in.
All in.
Wow.
There's a chance he might have been better off raising it to 150 or 170 more.
Wow, lucky guy.
See how much
you want to bet? I'll let you take either side if you want to bet. He'll call or fold at even money. You can take either side.
I think he's going to pass. Of course he's going to pass.
All right, I'll bet you he calls then. Do you want to bet?
Yeah.
How much?
I bet you £5.
No, 50 minimum bets.
Fine.
No.
You're going to force me into it, huh?
50 or nothing.
Okay, let's go.
Oh, man, oh, man. You're just such a net. You'd never make a move here with this spot without a hand.
Wow. He's talking himself. Now he's talking himself into a call.
Chip the 50
He's
quid,
talking
mate.
himself into a call.
Chip it.
He really is now, isn't he?
Oh, cool people can't fold flushes. That's why no one makes a move here.
People can't fold flushes?
People can't fold flushes.
Mike Sexton can't fold a flush?
No, he can't fold a backdoor flush in this bowl tournament. Cool. Ah! Get the 50 quid. Knew it.
And it wins.
Oh, man. I can't believe it.
Wow.
That's nice. I actually want to bet off
Andy
you.
Frankenberger's into second place.
Lucky, mate.
Nah, it's a bad
Wow.
time.
Against me, it is.
I told you, people can't fold flushes.
Thank you.
Amazing. And at the end of the day, Mike Sexton's going to think about
Should've laid it down.
the 20,000 he paid before the flop, isn't he? That was the key at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can't be really calling there pre-flop. This is what's going to happen.
The fact that he was pondering a fold there is a real credit to him. I mean, that's a gross spot.
It's quite funny when you call me a nit, though.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jesse.
I don't
Cheers
know.
for the 50
Everyone
quid,
calls
mate.
This is easily that is easily one of the worst bets. I don't know. That
At
hurts,
least I gave
that
you the
hurts.
choice.
That
I
hurts
said
more
you
than
leave
any
it.
bet I have ever lost ever.
That's right.
It's been a real change of fortune for Andrew Feldman at the table, unfortunately. You fell under his sword, shall we say. Talk to us about how the last couple levels went for you.
Yeah, well, I was doing fine till I played that last hand. I think I had over 600,000 when I started it, and unfortunately, backdoored a flush. You're playing shorthanded when you backdoor a flush. You know, if your opponent backdoors a higher flush, but I knew he had a bigger flush. I should have laid it down. I know it's a very tough lay down to make, but you can never be a really great poker player unless you make those big lay downs. And I had a chance to lay it down. I didn't do it, so I paid the price.
Well, good luck in the next heat. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
What a roller coaster of a heat. But look at these head-up stats. Andrew Feldman, 5-1 chip advantage. That's not how it was earlier. And Andy Frankenberger gets himself into the heads up. And from here, it's a free roll.
I can't believe you called me a nit.
He did. He feels quite good because
the last thing on his mind at that moment was needling you. I think it just came out.
Sexton gave him the rub down, but then called him anyway. And it should be just a processional here. Frankenberger out-chipped about 5-1 here. Surely that's plenty to challenge Feldman. It's a question, do you open shove or do you raise call? If Frankenberger does get a first double up, then game could be back on. It's amazing. After what Andy Frankenberger has been through, he went from thinking he was going to be one of the first out to being a massive chip leader to being on the bubble, certainly getting knocked out in the third, and now backdooring his way into the top 2 point spots and having a free roll
To raise
for the 8 points.
to 50,000.
Feldman's ride has been an even bigger roller coaster, and we've basically firsthand we've got a flip. And if Frankenberger can double up here, who's to say what will be? Feldman, of course, guaranteed to be the Group B leader when this is all over either way. And isn't he happy about it? I think he's quite happy about Sexton calling as well.
Go on the 10. Go on the Feldman. I can go to sleep, take a break before my tea.
He has,
When
when you
be a
think...
red card. Red card is the only way. Oh.
No 5.
Both these players, I think, will be quite satisfied. All the points in the top 2 spots, and Frankenberger, well, that was close. But you got to give credit to Feldman's patience, his heart, his character. And Andrew Feldman is going to end the day and the heat with 16 points.
Can't see that hand playing out any differently.
Absolutely not.
6 points for Andy, and not a bad position going into the next heat with the PLO round. Talk to me about how you're moving in there with points.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if I hadn't just lost heads up in one hand, I'd be a little more happy right now. If you told me that I'd be in second place going into the second event with my double up card in my pocket, I mean, that's a pretty good scenario. So I'm sure in a couple hours I'll look back and be pretty happy about it.
It seemed early on like we were going to lose you and you were going to get no points at all, but here you are with maximum points. What changed?
Well, I had the break and I just came back and
I just managed to I won a flip against Ben, and then I just ran pretty good, to be honest. I had some good spots, and I won a couple of races, and obviously I had the spot against Mike, which was obviously flush over flush. It doesn't happen too often in Hold'em, and to his credit, he tanked a lot, and that just shows them the marks of a very good player who can actually consider folding there, and you got to give him maximum credit for that. And so I had some nice spots, and I felt I played really, really aggressive three-handed. And I just feel, apart from the 8-sound, I played to my best, really, and I'm very, very happy that my strongest form of poker, I've come out on top, and hopefully I can now progress to the final.
Group B standings confirm Feldman's optimism. 16 points, he made his double-up card pay. It's a long way back to Andy Frankenberger on 6, but with double-up card in hand. Ben Carpenter on 4, Mike Sexton on 3, but Sorel Mizzi's in trouble. 2 points, and he's used his double-up card. Timoshenko has to get moving, but he can still get double points.
The second group match of the season for Group A kicks off next time, and it's set to be explosive viewing.
Are you laughing at me?
Doesn't matter. At least I'm in the pot trying to win pots. You're not even playing any pots.
I won 1 pot. I'm going to claw my way back from oblivion because that's the way I work.
You bullied me.
I read a book. That's what the book said.
I never made one pot.
I'm scared.
I've showed heart and commitment in every hand.
No more chirping, Miss Tilly.
It's not even the river yet. You're already complaining.
Oh my God, I don't know what to do. I'm such an idiot.